They're easy to slip on, comfy around the house, and found in nearly every senior's closet. But new studies show that this popular shoe style could triple your risk of falling after 60. In this video, we reveal which shoes could be putting your safety at risk and what safer alternatives to wear instead. I thought slippers were the safest thing I could wear around the house, until the night I tripped walking to the kitchen. It was just past midnight. The lights were off, the floor was familiar, and I wasn't in a rush. But the moment my foot slid across the tile, I lost my balance. One second I was walking toward the fridge, the next I was on the floor, stunned and hurting, wondering how something so routine could go so wrong. It turns out I wasn't alone. Every year, millions of older adults fall at home, many of them in the places they know best, and often while wearing shoes they thought were safe. Slippers, soft-soled shoes, backless sandals. These familiar favorites may feel comfortable, but they offer little in terms of support, grip, or protection. And as it turns out, they could quietly be increasing our risk far more than we realize. Falls are the leading cause of injury for seniors. They can lead to fractures, hospital stays, and in many cases, the beginning of long-term decline. But what most people don't talk about is how big a role footwear plays in that risk. It's not just about weak bones or slippery floors, it's about what's on our feet. This episode isn't about fear, it's about awareness, about prevention, and most importantly, about giving you the tools to stay safe without giving up comfort or independence. Today, we'll uncover the one popular shoe style that could be putting your safety at risk, and chances are you already own a few pairs. More importantly, we'll share safer, supportive alternatives that still feel good to wear, but are designed to protect your stability as you move through each day. Because every step should feel secure, and sometimes a simple change in what you wear can change everything. They were my go-to shoes, the soft, backless kind that you could slide into without even bending over. I kept them right by the bed. I wore them while making coffee, doing laundry, shuffling to the mailbox. They were cozy, familiar, a little worn, but that made them feel even better, like they had molded to my feet over the years. I never once thought they could be dangerous. But when I fell that night on the way to the kitchen, those slippers betrayed me. My heel slid halfway out just as I turned the corner, and the fabric twisted beneath me like paper. It wasn't a dramatic fall, just one bad step. But that's all it takes. One misstep, one soft sole that folds the wrong way, one shoe that doesn't quite catch the ground in time. And it turns out, this isn't rare. In fact, it's one of the most overlooked risks for seniors living at home. Backless slippers, flip-flops, loose slip-ons. These are some of the most common shoes in older adults' closets. They're easy, convenient, they don't require laces or bending down, but they also offer almost no heel support, no real grip, no structure to keep your foot where it needs to be. They move when you move, and sometimes they don't stop moving when you need them to. The problem isn't just the backless design, it's the way these shoes age with us. Over time, the soles get smooth, the fabric wears thin, that initial cushioning flattens out. What was once a comfortable favorite becomes a hazard waiting to happen. The edges curl, the bottoms become slick on hardwood or tile, and the shoe no longer fits. It just clings loosely to your foot like a memory of what it used to be. Flip-flops, especially the cheap kind many of us keep by the door, are another culprit. They force your toes to grip constantly, throwing off your natural stride and increasing the chances of stumbling. They slip sideways on uneven surfaces, bend too easily underfoot, and have no heel cradle to catch you if you wobble. For aging joints and slower reflexes, that's a recipe for disaster. Even house shoes that look sturdy at first glance can be deceptive. If they're too loose, too flat, or too soft, they don't give your body the foundation it needs. You may not notice it at first, but gradually, those little slips add up. Your posture shifts, your balance weakens, your confidence walking around your own home starts to fade, and you might not even realize it's your footwear that's setting you up to fall. We don't think about shoes that way. Most of us grew up with the idea that a fall is something clumsy people do, or something that only happens if you're not paying attention. But after 60, the body changes. Our reaction time slows. Muscles aren't as responsive. Bones are more brittle. And the margin for error becomes painfully small. And that's why something as simple as what's on your feet can quietly turn into one of the biggest threats to your independence. I know it's tempting to keep wearing what feels familiar. No one wants to trade in soft slippers for something that feels stiff or clunky. But safety doesn't have to mean discomfort. There are options that protect your feet and your peace of mind. Shoes that are easy to put on, supportive without being restrictive, and designed to keep you steady with every step. But first, we have to be willing to let go of what's no longer serving us. That beloved pair of old slippers, they may carry memories, but they shouldn't carry you to the emergency room. It's not about blame, it's about awareness. So many falls happen in seconds, but their consequences can last for months or a lifetime. A fractured hip, a shaken confidence, a move from independence to dependence. That chain reaction can start with one unstable shoe. So take a look at what's by your bedside, what's at your front door, what you reach for every morning without a second thought. Ask yourself, does this shoe support me or just feel easy? Because ease is temporary. But the ability to walk with confidence, to move safely through your home, to live independently for as long as possible, that's worth choosing carefully. Sometimes, preventing a fall doesn't start in physical therapy or a doctor's office. It starts in the closet. It's easy to think a fall happens because of a single wrong step, but often it's a series of small things building quietly in the background. And one of the most overlooked is the way a shoe moves, or doesn't, with the foot. As we age, the relationship between our feet and the ground changes. Muscles weaken. Balance becomes less automatic. Our stride shortens. We may not lift our feet as high as we used to, sometimes dragging them slightly without even realizing it. And that subtle change, combined with the wrong kind of shoe, can set the stage for a serious accident. The problem with backless, loose, or soft-soled shoes isn't just how they look. It's how they fail to support us when we need it most. Shoes without proper heel support allow the foot to slip out with every step. That small shift creates instability. When there's no back to cradle the heel, your foot isn't held in place. It's free to move around, even lift out entirely. So when you pivot, turn, or climb stairs, the shoe doesn't move with you. It lags, it catches, it folds, and in that split second, your balance is thrown off. If your reaction time isn't what it used to be, and for most of us it isn't after 60, recovering from that misstep becomes much harder. And if you already struggle with balance, coordination, or dizziness, the odds of catching yourself in time are slim. Then there's the issue of smooth soles. Many of the slippers and slip-ons marketed toward older adults are made with comfort in mind, but not safety. Their soles are soft, flexible, and often worn slick from years of use. On carpet, they might be okay, but on hardwood tile or even a wet kitchen floor, they're a hazard. There's nothing to grip the ground, no tread to prevent slipping. It's like walking on ice with socks, cozy until it's dangerous. And without ankle support, even a small twist can turn into a fall. Ankles are key stabilizers for balance, especially when navigating uneven surfaces or quick changes in direction. A shoe that doesn't hug or protect the ankle leaves it vulnerable. One unexpected turn or a sudden shift in weight can lead to a roll, a stumble, or worse, a fall that sends you to the ground before you even understand what happened. For those with vision changes, the risk increases even more. When depth perception isn't as sharp or peripheral vision starts to fade, we rely more heavily on our feet to feel and navigate the world. But if the shoes we're wearing aren't giving our feet proper feedback, if they're shifting, sliding, or dragging, we're essentially walking blind even in our own home. Many seniors unconsciously shuffle their feet instead of lifting them. This isn't laziness, it's often the body's way of conserving energy or accommodating joint pain. But when the shoe doesn't stay firmly attached to the foot, that drag becomes dangerous. It catches on rugs, it misses stair edges, it doesn't clear thresholds, And without solid contact between foot and sole, the brain doesn't get the signals it needs to react quickly to changes in surface or terrain. It's not just about convenience anymore. It's about protection, about reducing risk before something happens. Because once a fall occurs, everything changes. A broken hip, a long hospital stay, a loss of independence that's hard to regain. And what's tragic is that so many of those falls could be prevented, starting with a better pair of shoes. We don't often stop to think about how much trust we place in our footwear, but every step we take is a quiet agreement between body and ground. The shoes we wear are the bridge. And when that bridge is weak, when it slides, wobbles, or doesn't support us, it's not a matter of if we'll fall, but when. The right shoe won't make you feel restricted. It will make you feel stable. It will stay with your foot, lift as you lift, land as you land. It will grip the ground, not glide across it. It will cradle your heel, support your ankle, and give you back the confidence to move without hesitation. Because walking without fear isn't a luxury, it's a necessary. And sometimes, the difference between a fall and a future lies in something as simple and as powerful as what we choose to wear on our feet. After that fall, I hesitated every time I stood up. Even walking from the couch to the kitchen felt like a calculated risk. I caught myself looking at the floor more than the destination, and suddenly, my home, once a place of peace, felt like a maze of hidden dangers. But here's what I didn't expect. How much of that fear could be eased simply by changing what I had on my feet. There's no perfect shoe for every person, but there are certain features, thoughtful, simple, and surprisingly effective, that can turn your footwear from a quiet threat into a steady source of confidence. It starts with structure. Soft, backless slippers may feel gentle on the feet, but they offer very little in terms of safety. What we need are supportive, closed-back slippers, the kind that cradle the heel and stay in place without slipping off. The best versions come with non-slip rubber soles, giving you grip on everything from hardwood to tile. They have enough stiffness in the sole to protect your balance, but still feel comfortable for all-day wear. Some even have a bit of cushioning that supports tired arches and aging joints. These aren't your old-fashioned grandpa shoes. Today's fall prevention slippers look like cozy loafers or streamlined walking shoes, and they're built to move with you, not against you. For those who spend more time out and about or need something a little more versatile, lightweight sneakers with proper arch support are an excellent choice. Look for models with Velcro straps or elastic laces. These aren't just easier to manage than traditional shoelaces, they also provide a snug, secure fit without the risk of coming undone. The right sneaker supports your midfoot, cushions your steps, and helps maintain proper alignment in your knees and hips, making movement smoother and less tiring. The key is in the fit and the feel. Shoes that are too tight can cause pain or poor circulation. Too loose, and you're back to the same risks we talked about before: slipping, dragging, losing control. A properly fitted shoe should feel like an extension of your foot, stable, secure, and natural. Today, many brands are creating lines specifically labeled as fall prevention, orthopedic friendly, or senior safe. These shoes aren't bulky or clinical looking. In fact, many are stylish enough to wear anywhere. They often include features like wider toe boxes for comfort, deeper heel cups for support, and soles engineered to grip without being too stiff. Some even come with removable inserts so you can use custom orthotics if needed. These details matter more than we think, because when we're confident in our footing, we walk differently. Our shoulders relax, our steps are smoother, we engage our muscles properly, and we reclaim the freedom to move through life without fear. Making this shift doesn't have to be expensive or overwhelming. You don't need a closet full of specialized shoes, just one or two well-chosen pairs that meet your everyday needs. One for indoors, one for outdoors, both chosen with care, comfort, and safety in mind. And here's something that often gets overlooked. Rotate your shoes regularly. Even the best shoes wear out over time. When soles go bald, support breaks down, or material becomes too soft, it's time to replace them. Think of it like maintaining a car. Your body deserves equipment that keeps up with your journey. For caregivers or family members watching this, Consider offering a new pair of safe, supportive shoes as a gift, not just because they look nice, but because they say, "I want you here. I want you strong. I want you steady on your feet." Because the truth is, preventing a fall doesn't always require therapy, medication, or a major lifestyle overhaul. Sometimes it starts with something as simple as what's under your feet. Shoes are often the last thing we think about, but they should be the first layer of defense in protecting our independence. We deserve to feel safe in our steps, to walk with dignity, to stand tall, not because nothing has changed, but because we've adapted with wisdom. If you've been wearing the same soft slippers for years, or you've been avoiding more supportive shoes because they seem like an admission of aging, please don't wait. This isn't about giving something up. It's about giving yourself something better. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself or for someone you care about is to start with the shoes. Wearing the right shoes is a powerful step toward preventing falls. But shoes alone aren't the full story. They're part of a bigger picture, one that includes how we move through the spaces we call home. Because even the best footwear can't protect you from what you don't see, or what's quietly waiting underfoot. After my fall, I started noticing things I'd never given a second thought. The extension cord snaking across the living room, the loose rug corner near the front door, the shoes I used to kick off near the bed, now a hidden obstacle waiting to catch my foot in the dark. It wasn't just about what I was wearing. It was about what I was walking through. One of the simplest, most effective habits we can build, especially when paired with safer shoes, is keeping our floors as clear as possible. That doesn't mean turning our homes into sterile spaces. It means being intentional, making sure walkways are wide and unobstructed, keeping items like shoes, laundry baskets, and cords out of paths we use frequently, especially in places like the bedroom, kitchen, or hallway, where we often walk without thinking. It's amazing how easy it is to trip on something familiar. We see it every day, and somehow we stop really seeing it at all. A pet toy, a slipper, a low coffee table, these become part of the landscape. Until one day, they're the reason we end up on the floor. Lighting is another silent protector that makes a bigger difference than we realize. Night lights in hallways, bathrooms, and bedrooms can help you find your way safely during those early morning or late night trips. Motion-activated lights are a wonderful option. They come on when you need them, no fumbling with switches required, just enough glow to guide your steps without disturbing your sleep. A lot of falls happen in the dark. Not because we're careless, but because our eyes aren't as quick to adjust as they once were. When we wake suddenly, disoriented, trying to make it to the bathroom or kitchen, one wrong step in the shadows can change everything. But a soft light, it can be the difference between confidence and catastrophe. And here's a habit many overlook: sitting down when putting on or removing shoes. It might seem like a small thing, but as balance changes with age, what used to be a quick, easy movement can suddenly become a wobble, a sway, a struggle. Trying to hop into slippers or pull off shoes while standing invites imbalance, especially if the shoe is tight or if you're already feeling stiff or tired. Taking a seat, even just for a minute, allows you to ground yourself, to move deliberately, to use both hands if needed. It slows the moment down, creates a foundation, and removes the risk of losing your balance while trying to do something as simple as getting dressed. This isn't about moving slower for the sake of it. It's about moving smarter, with intention, with respect for how our bodies have changed, and with kindness toward ourselves for doing what it takes to stay safe. None of these habits require big investments, no major renovations, just mindful adjustments to how we live in and move through the places we know best. That's what makes them powerful. They're habits we can build quietly, gently, layer by layer, without turning our lives upside down. Pair these changes with the right footwear, and you've created something far more valuable than convenience. You've created stability. You've created a home that holds you safely as you age. Because it's not just about preventing a fall. It's about preserving freedom, about making sure that something as small as a shoe or a light or a rug doesn't steal the independence it took you a lifetime to build. Sometimes, the most profound changes don't come from doing more. They come from doing the small things with care. Picking up what's on the floor, turning on a light, sitting down before you stand back up. And in those quiet moments, you're not just protecting your balance, you're honoring your future, one step at a time. One fall can change everything. A quiet trip to the kitchen turns into a hospital stay. A stumble in the hallway becomes the start of a long recovery. And for too many older adults, that single moment leads to losing something even more precious: independence. But the good news is this: one smart choice can protect it. It doesn't take a major life overhaul to stay safer. Sometimes it's as simple as swapping those worn-out slippers for something more stable. Choosing shoes that stay with your foot instead of sliding away from it. Creating a space at home that supports how your body moves today, not how it moved 20 years ago. Comfort matters. We all want to feel relaxed in our homes, at ease in what we wear. But comfort shouldn't come at the cost of confidence, of safety, of the ability to move without fear. Because when we feel steady, we feel free. And when we take the steps to protect that freedom, we're not just preventing accidents, we're honoring ourselves and the life we've built. So if your favorite shoes have gotten a little too soft, a little too loose, or a little too risky, this might be the time to let them go, not out of loss, but out of love. Love for your health, love for the independence you've earned, and love for the days ahead that you still deserve to walk through safely and fully. Your favorite shoes may feel familiar, but if they're putting you at risk, it's time to trade them in for something that helps you stay strong, steady, and standing tall. Because the goal isn't just to stay on your feet, it's to keep moving forward, one confident step at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video helped you see your daily choices in a new light, or reminded you that small changes can protect your freedom, I hope you'll share it with someone you care about. We all deserve to age with dignity, strength, and peace of mind. And sometimes that starts with something as simple as our shoes. Your journey matters here, and you are not alone.